Welcome back to the $1 Million Challenge, where I start off with $1 and I'm working my way up to $1 million through gambling. Today, we have to have a heavy, deep, analytical conversation. It's a pretty big bankroll decision that I gotta discuss with you guys. Before I have that conversation though, I'm gonna show the bonuses I claimed since the last episode. There's a lot of bonuses, so we're gonna run through that and then we're gonna get into things. Alright, so starting off our bonuses, we have the weekly bonus, which is $1.82 on the website. And I also claimed my rake back. I haven't claimed my rake back in a long time. The rake back was $3.85. And we got two monthly bonuses. So I got the monthly bonus for September, which is $13.41, which is pretty nice. It's almost like a 1% of the balance right there. And then I also subscribed for like the September subscription bonus thing. So I got $6 from that too. It was an email they sent out. So that was a nice little addition there too. Next up, on one of the casino apps I use, I had a $10 wager to get $5. I thought that was a pretty good deal. So I risked $10 on this rocket game at a 1.01x cashes. We get our $5 in credits. I run that on a same bet. I do 1.01x cashes. So we got an extra $5 in bonuses there. Then on this app, I do some free spins. They have a daily free spin. So I got 5 free spins on Huff and More Puff. Sorry, my bad. I got 5 free spins at 20 cents. Luckily, I spun into a bonus, which is pretty sick. Pretty rare for that to happen, but we did hit a bonus and it pays pretty decent. Nothing super crazy, but I'm showing anything now that's like over $5, or actually, yeah, I think anything over $5 is what I'm showing. Maybe there's some $2 bonuses still in here I'm showing, but at our bankroll size, I'm trying to show things that are like pretty significant. Anything that's like $1 or $2, I'm not really showing on camera anymore just because it's so tiny. But yeah, I'm trying to show like the bigger bonuses, and this one pays out, I believe, like $7. So that was pretty nice addition there. $7.32, nice little bonus there. And we have a couple more coming up. So for this last one, I had to deposit $50 to get a $10 casino credit. So what I did is I just transferred over $50 from another account that's in the bankroll, deposited in this app, and then I got our $10 in casino credits, and I play that on the same type of game. It's a 1.01x cashes out, so we get $10 right there. Nice addition to the bankroll for sure. Okay, so if you're new here, I'm gonna explain how this challenge has worked up until now, and I'm going to summarize it. If you've been a long time viewer, you're gonna understand exactly what I'm talking about, and if not, I'm just gonna summarize it. It'll make a lot more sense. When I started this challenge, I would literally sit down every single day, record my session of me playing, going for 1% profit on the balance. Then I would upload a compilation of all the gameplays I did every single day for the week, and that was our 7 days of playthrough, so I'd play every single day. Then I started uploading twice a week, so I would play 3 to 4 days of gameplay, and then I would upload 2 videos per week, so that was 7 days of gameplay per week, so I was always on pace. Then once we hit day 172, I started the community bracket challenge to find the best strategy that wins consistently, which we just finished up. But I played that from day 172, which was back in July. That was the beginning of July, up until about, I think it was day 203. So in that time frame, I played like 30 days of the bracket challenge, which was only 2 days of playthrough per video because I was doing 2 strategies per video. So really each week I was only doing like 4 days of recorded gameplay. However, the bankroll has progressed because I still claim bonuses. I do sports betting every single day. I track the Bitcoin balance every day. So I've logged in this tracking sheet every day during that bracket challenge. So there's a big disparity between where we're sitting at. So on day 205 is the recording, which is back in the beginning of August. That's where the video sheet is sitting at, where I actually record, right? So in reality, as of today that I'm actually recording this, like in real time in September, it's sitting on day 243 at almost $1,700. So the bankroll is still going up in the background. I'm doing sports betting, the investment accounts and everything. I'm getting sign-up bonuses, which I'll explain all that. So here's the issue that I want to try to correct. There's this big disparity between day 205 and day 243. There's a big gap there, and I want to be on pace. I want to be recording and talking about what's happening this week and talk about what's going on like live with the balance. where right now I am recording, like in reality, it's day 243. But as I'm recording this, I'm talking about what I did over a month ago. I'm talking about the bonuses I got a month ago. I'm talking about the things I did a month ago. And it's kind of weird for me to talk about. And I feel like it's kind of confusing for some of the viewers to understand like the gap between that, like what's reality and what's in the past and stuff. So I thought of two ways I could handle this. I could either play through all of these days individually and catch up the bankroll. Just try to play way more days than usual and catch up. So, we run through speedrun it, right? The second thing I thought of is just skipping ahead from day 205 to where we're at today. Just skip ahead because I wouldn't be risking the bankroll. That's my thing. We already have a good bankroll. The website balance is sitting at 286, the website we use, and everything else added up on the day of recording is sitting at like 1400. In reality, I'm not including the website balance. I only include that once I actually play it in the tracking sheet here. But everything else has been tracked, right? So I could just skip ahead, drag this down the whole way down and just skip. And the reason I think that would be very beneficial, so if I pulled this down, right now we'd be like $2,000. It'd be $2,000 if I just like skipped ahead. Let's just start from here. We're back on track. I'm not taking any risk. That's the big thing. Like for example, today I'm gonna do 4 days of gameplay. You did 205 through 208. But if I lost all 4 of these days, I'd be down like $235, risking 4% of the bankroll. When I hit the stop loss, that 4% stop loss 4 days in a row, I just lost $235 for like what reason? I don't need to risk it. We already made profit. Like let's just lock in those profits, move on, right? That's the strategical, analytical, data-backed approach. Just skip ahead. Don't risk the balance at all. Move on. Protect the balance. The main goal is to get $1 million. So the next thing is like the YouTube side of it and like the series, right? I get this as like a series, like a TV show. It's an entertainment piece. So if I skipped ahead, there'd probably make a big plot hole in the show, right? Or like the series or whatever you want to call it. I'm trying to think of it as like two things. There's the YouTube side, then there's like the strategical $1 million success probability. That's the main goal for me. I'm documenting what I'm doing. I'm here to make $1 million, and I'm doing YouTube as like a secondary piece. So making this decision, I'm weighing the two. It's like the more they're inversely related. I know I'm speaking really fast. I'm trying to process everything that I'm thinking out loud immediately, but they're inversely related. So when I'm putting the bankroll or the balance as like the primary factor, the YouTube decision factor comes down. If I put YouTube above that, the risk of the bankroll and the probability of success comes down. So it's like it's a weight, it's like a balance, right? So yeah, if I play every single day, I'm risking the balance catching up, which I don't want to do, but I get like YouTube, that makes sense to do that, right? To keep everything with continuity, that makes the most sense. So my idea would just be to skip ahead, and I could explain everything along the way that I still did. All these sign-up bonuses, all these like big bets that I did, any movements of money, I could still talk about that. But I get that's not really entertaining, so I'm trying to weigh the two things. So what I did is I asked ChatGPT for thoughts on this. So I asked ChatGPT, like I said, how to handle this and like make sure I was thinking about this in the proper way to make sure like my mental math made sense, and this is what it gave back. So I told ChatGPT my exact like strategy, the whole challenge, everything like that, and I'm gonna rip through this just to give you guys a little background of why I'm making this decision. So obviously I'm getting 1% profit every single day of the bankroll with a 4% stop loss. The tracker column assumes the steady 1% daily compounding plus adding $1 every single day. That was the original idea. So that tracker column is kind of irrelevant, and I'll explain why, but I included that in here. It doesn't make sense. But either way, in reality, I'm currently ahead of schedule. On day 240 is the actual day that I'm recording this. We're almost like $1,700, and yeah, the tracker doesn't make sense. I'll explain that later. But on YouTube, I'm on day 205, right? So this is what we just talked about. So if I play through day 205 and catch up, then I expose myself to more of the house edge and variance, more risk. And if I jump my bankroll to the real day, I protect the gains of my bankroll, but the narrative skips ahead in the YouTube series. So the mathematical considerations, the house edge impact, every extra session exposes me to the house edge. Even with the bankroll management, my expected value is slightly negative, even if you're betting fair odds. So that means more sessions is more cumulative expected loss. The more I play, the more chances I have of losing, right? That's why I'm trying to just skip ahead and avoid that. The risk of ruin. Your 4% stop loss protects you, but does not eliminate the eventual drawdowns. Over more trials, probability of hitting the stop loss days increase. By playing unnecessary days, you're multiplying the chances of that variance in the house edge erode your lead. The compounding effect. Since you are already ahead of the tracker, both in real bankroll and in the video bankroll, the mathematically optimal strategy is to minimize unnecessary exposure. Skipping to catch up with reality preserves your bankroll and avoids extra risk. So that is the best decision, just to skip ahead, avoid playing the balance. So here's the 3 scenarios. Again, this last one doesn't make sense. Basically, I thought if I skipped ahead to like where the tracker is on the bankroll, if I followed the tracker, that would make sense. But it doesn't, because I'm trying to track the days. I'm not really worried about the tracker. The tracker is more of a benchmark to measure where I'm at, where the days I'm on, like how many days it takes to get to $1 million is what's more important. So if I skipped ahead to where the tracker lines up, that doesn't make any sense. So just kind of ignore that. So option A would be to continue on video as is, just do every single day I play through. It's the cleanest narrative for YouTube. There's no skip days. There's maximum YouTube continuity on that. But I am forcing to play 35 extra days where the house edge can work against me. So it increases the risk of ruin without financial upside since I'm already ahead. The second option, B here, is a jump to reality where I'm recording this today, like the actual date that I'm on. Pros, it protects your lead. It avoids the 35 unnecessary days of exposure to losses. You still are close enough to the narrative that the viewers won't feel lost. There's a small break in continuity. You don't need to explain it on YouTube, which I'm doing right now, but there's a strong balance between preserving your bankroll and maintaining the story. So the data-backed best decision, mathematically, I asked them to be an analytical expert, give me some data-backed evidence, and they said mathematically, you should skip ahead, because the fewer days you expose yourself to the house edge, the higher your probability of finishing the challenge successfully. Every skip day is a risk-free profit lock-in. I think that's a really big portion that I want to highlight. Every day that I skip ahead is a risk-free profit locked in, right? I'm not risking anything. It's risk-free. Strategically optimal, balancing YouTube and the bankroll success. If I jump to day 240, you avoid unnecessary exposure, but keep the continuity tight enough for the audience engagement. Put simply, if your number one goal is a bankroll survival to $1 million, skip ahead. If your number one goal is the YouTube growth while protecting the bankroll, skip to day 240. So it's just telling me to skip ahead, basically. It just kind of repeats the same thing over and over again. And that's pretty much it. So that's pretty much what ChatGPT said. And just to explain that third option, like I was saying, I realized it didn't make any sense, but I asked ChatGPT as a third option would be to skip to where the tracker lines up. So that would be like day 287 or something, because the tracker would line up with the bankroll. That was kind of my thoughts on it. But in reality, that doesn't really make any sense because, again, we're tracking the days. This tracker column is really meant just to see if we're on pace to reaching that $1 million on time. Because if I was at $100 for like 200 days, then the tracker would be like, hey, buddy, you're not even close to being like meeting this goal on time. You're not doing this right. So that option didn't really make any sense. Let me back out the website balance there. Okay. So then what I did is I asked the Discord community, what do you guys think is the best approach? Like, what would you guys like to see for the YouTube purposes? And I put up a poll. There's like 20 votes. And most of the people lean towards just playing every single day, as I usually do, with the 4% stop loss, going for 1% profit every day. But mathematically, strategically speaking, it doesn't make sense. That's why I'm kind of caught in this, like, I'm in a difficult spot. That's what I'm trying to say. The skip ahead option was, the mathematically best approach is skip ahead, lock in your profits, take zero risk. There was only 2 votes for that out of 20. So not a huge lean towards that way. The other option I came up with as I was typing this out on Discord, which I didn't include in ChatGPT, was to keep things entertaining. I thought, what if I just should risk $1 a day, going for like $1 or like 10-cent bets to accelerate progress. And that only got like 4 votes out of 20, so like 20%. I voted for that one too. I thought that'd be pretty fun. So it's still like entertaining, but I'm not risking that much. So realistically, if I was to do that, I would risk $35. So I'd risk $1 every single day. And I just go for like a super high multiplier. I'd go for like, put $1 in, go for like 10-cent bets, trying to get like 1,000x or something just for the fun of it. If I hate, cool. If I lose my $1, that's fine. We'll just move on. But I could rip like 20 of those bets in one video and just speed up the balance, right? That's kind of my thoughts behind that. So today, the plan is, I think going forward, what I'm going to do is play 1 day of playthrough, like actually 4% stop loss, go for the 1% profit pool, and then go for like anywhere from like 2 to like 5 days of playthrough on $1 and just go for super high multipliers and kind of keep it entertaining, keep it safe though. I don't want to like risk the 4% every single day. Like I said, if we lose every day today, that'd be like 200 bucks. Where if I go for the first 2 days, I'm only risking like 100 bucks. And then I only risk $2 on these 2 days here, like $1 and $1. So I'm gonna do a mix of both, I think. Let me know what you guys think, how that's gonna work out, if you guys would find that enjoyable. Again, I'm really trying to protect the bankroll and not risk it. Like, it's not needed. I'm just doing this for almost fully entertainment purposes at this rate. But yeah, that's where I'm at. So that's gonna be the plan for now, unless there's like any big changes. I'm just gonna do 1 or 2 days of actual gameplay, like the 4% stop loss, go for 1% profit, and then do like a bunch of days of just $1 risk and just try to go for like super high multipliers. That way, if I get some good wins, good, we get some crazy payouts. If not, I only risk $1 and just progress the challenge. All right, so that's enough talking. Thanks for listening to all that. Leave your thoughts below. We're gonna get into some gameplay finally. I know it's a long conversation, but it needed to be done. It's really important. I want to get this $1 million and just make it as probable as possible. But on day 205, we're sitting at $1,449 with a 1% profit pool of $14.49, and our stop loss is about $58. The plan for today, we're gonna run Vicky's dice strategy. This guy has been talking about me doing this for weeks, and I'm finally doing it. I've been telling him I'm gonna run it eventually, so we're gonna do it today. He said he's been making a ton of profit off of it. It's a pretty high risk strategy, but here's what it is. It's pretty straightforward. There's a few conditions, but basically you go for a target multiplier of 15x on dice. The bet amount is $0.0001 for every $100 in the balance. So we're gonna use a $100 balance to start today. Condition 1, every 1 win you roll under or over. I guess you just switch under or over. Every 1 win, you're gonna reset the bet amount. Every 1 loss, you're gonna increase the bet amount 15%. And then every 30 losing streak, you set the win chance to 7.07. And then condition 5 is every 40 losing streak, you set the win chance to 10%. And then reset the bet, obviously, after win. So that's gonna be the plan today. We're gonna load this up in the website and get started. All right, so we got this set up. Here's all the conditions I just read off. We're gonna get this going. We're gonna see how it performs. I've not tested this. So win multiplier is 15x. And we're starting off with a $0 bet. I think it should work once I actually start this. Okay. So once we get a win, it should start actually working properly. The bet's too small. Okay, so the bet was too small, so I start off at 0.001 instead of 3 zeros. It wouldn't let me do anything smaller than that, so it's a little bit more aggressive than he suggested, but we are starting to increase this bet. We're gonna see how this works. I'm starting off kind of slow just to see how this is gonna run. Obviously, it's a very high risk strategy as we need to get it's a very small win chance, so I don't know. We're gonna see. This is starting to really take some bets. All right, there's a win finally. We're looking for $14.49 in profit today. Hoping the strategy doesn't bust. We're starting off with a $100 bankroll. It's pretty high, but it's going to be like 2 days of risk. So hopefully this works out pretty well. But yeah, we're going to see. I'm going to let this run for a while. Maybe I'll speed this up since it's going to be pretty slow. But I don't want to lose $100, so I'm going to try to keep an eye on this as best as I can. But I'm gonna run this for 2 days of playthrough today. We're gonna go for 1% profit goal. I'm gonna bank the profit if it hits, and then we're gonna run it back. So I'm gonna just use that $100 as, oh, this is going really fast. Wow, okay. I'm gonna use the $100 from, it's kind of like 2 days combined of stop loss. So if we lose today, we're just gonna lose the next 2 days of the tracking sheet. But this thing is like kind of sketchy, man. There's a lot of chances of losing. That's a big red section. But I guess those wins are 15x, so that's a pretty good multiplier. I don't know, we'll let it go. He said he's been making a ton of profit with this. He says he's been cooking. I don't even know if he's lost with this. He hasn't said if he has, but he's been telling me to run it. He said he's been making a lot of money off of it, and he's been suggesting I use it for the challenge. So I've been telling him I'm going to use it, and here we are. We're finally running it. But yeah, this thing starts to dip pretty quick. I don't like that. Okay, we hit. All right. Whew. Knowing that I'm going to have $100 at risk, it's kind of scary, but we're trying something different. We're done with the bracket challenge. We're diving into a different territory now. We have a lot of things we can do now. New strategies, to go back to old strategies. We're fair game for anything. Like I said, after we do 2 days of playthrough, hopefully this profits twice. Hope to God it profits twice. We're almost at $8. So that's pretty good. We need to get 14.49. But if this profits twice, we're gonna do the dollar bets I was talking about. I'm gonna try to do a mix of both going forward just to speed up the challenge. It's gonna be the plan. And I think it'll be kind of fun. Just going for super high multipliers, try to get a crazy payout. We'll probably lose $1 every day, but I'd rather lose $1 than $100. You know, you gotta choose your battles, right? But I want to keep the content interesting. I want to explain things, be very transparent as always. I try to, explain why I do things, how I do things, try to make everything make sense. I want everything to, be legitimate and appear that way, because it is, and I want it to just make sense to everyone. But at the end of the day, like I said, and I'm not saying this in like a dismissive way or anything, but my main goal is to reach $1 million. I'm not here to make content as my main purpose. If I was making content for entertainment purely, I wouldn't try to be as disciplined and strict with my parameters and stick to strategical approaches. Obviously that's my main goal, is to reach $1 million. If I was here to just purely have fun, I'd be playing slots and crazy games, trying to get crazy multipliers and everything. I would be trying to play smart. I'd be playing for fun, which I'm trying to have fun along the way. But at the end of the day, like I said, it's $1 million challenge. That is the main purpose of the entire series. I'm just documenting everything. It's a documentary. I guess it's a good way of putting it. That's the way I look at it. I'm not looking at it as I'm uploading for complete entertainment purposes, but we're starting to go on a dip now. We need a big win here. There we go. Okay. Whew. Those dips come fast, man. We need $3 and we'll be good for the first day of playthrough here. Can we get there easily? I don't know. I could see this thing really crashing. Obviously, we were running this for a while, but it seems to be working decent so far. Just knowing I'm risking $100 to get this profit, it's kind of scary. Kind of scary, man. Oh boy. We need $2 though. We need about $2. We'll be done for today. And it's looking pretty good. It's looking pretty good. I don't want to speak too soon, but I'm just thinking if we lose $100, that's gonna be devastating. It's gonna be absolutely devastating to lose $100. This is exactly what I'm talking about though. I don't even need to be risking the bankroll. I could just skip ahead, but I'm trying to I want the community to be involved with everything. I want you guys to have a say in what I do, but I also want to make smart decisions. So that's why, we're almost at the profit goal. I think we need one more win. We just need one win. Let's turn this down. Turn off instant bet so it's a little bit slower. Once we get our next win, there we go. $15.60. I'm gonna log that in the tracking sheet and we'll come right back and run this again. Okay, so day 205 is a win. We got a 1% profit goal. We actually got a little bit past that, about an extra $1. So we got $15.60 profit. Now moving on to day 206. Balance is sitting at $1,487. That's with, let's see what happens since the last day. We got the website balance went up. Looks like there was a pretty big bet increase on FanDuel. Went up about $13. Same with Fanatics, that went up about $8. So pretty big increase between those 2 days there. Sit at $1,487, which makes the 1% profit goal $14.87. Again, the stop loss is like $59, but I'm using a $100 base bet for the strategy we're using. All right, let's see if we can run this back. It worked pretty well. It's about 1,000 bets. Kind of risky though. I'm kind of scared to run this again. I can see this crashing, but we're gonna do it because I'm not even doing. This is like technically 10 times higher than the initial bet that we should start with, so it is still pretty risky. But let's just start it. Let's just go for it. I really am just scared to lose this bankroll or like the stop loss using that 2 days playthrough. That's risky, man. Let's throw an instant bet. Let's let this thing cook. So, oh come on. It starts to dip really fast. Come on, this gotta hit. This gotta hit. Oh, there it goes. Whew. Man, this is stressful. But yeah, like I said, we're gonna do the dollar bets after this. I think it'll be fun. I'm excited to do some like high multipliers, something I never do. And I'm very happy not to risk the bankroll with using the dollar. So let me know if you guys are gonna like this idea. I think this is a good method going forward. It's a balance between the two things I talked about: the probability of success, reaching $1 million, and the YouTube like continuity, running the series and everything. I think that's the best plan of action to accommodate both sides of the situation. But again, once we catch the bankroll up, we're gonna be playing as normal, like as we always do, going to 1% profit every single day. Once it's fully caught up to where we are at in current day, once the balance is actually caught up on the tracking sheet, we're gonna be doing, as I usually do, the 1% profit every single day. I'm just trying to be safe during that time span until we get there. Starting to cook again. It gets those dips, man. I forget. I think this increases. What is it? On loss, we increase by 15%. So yeah, I mean, this thing starts to get pretty crazy after a lot of losses. But I mean, I don't know. It could work. It could work. I don't know if I've seen his graph either. Vicky in the Discord. I don't know if he's posted his graph, but I'm not sure what it's supposed to look like. I don't know if it's similar to what we're getting here, but either way, we're starting to get some big bets now. We're like 50-cent bets. It hits. Okay. Yeah, once it gets above like 10 cents, it starts to really pick up. Like that dip is really crazy, man. Like that can get really nasty. Okay. We're almost halfway. At this point in the challenge too, like I'm trying to take things pretty serious as we're getting a crazy dip. We're getting a crazy dip. We're getting a crazy dip. We need to hit. We need to hit. We need to hit. We need to hit. Oh no. Oh, that hurts so bad. Let's just do it all in, I guess. Try to get. Yeah. Dang, man. Oh, that hurts so bad. I was just about to say I'm trying to take this serious because like we don't need to risk the bankroll, and we're starting to get a lot of money, and I don't want to be risking the balance. But this is exactly why I didn't want to do this. Okay, I'm gonna log this in the bankroll tracking sheet, and I'll be right back. It was quite devastating. Day 206 was a loss. We lost $100. Just as we were climbing out of that hole from the website, we've been down the website for a while. We're down $90, and then we hit that $100 loss. Down 191 on the website now, which sucks, man. Big L. That's why I'm not trying to do this. This is exactly what I'm trying to explain. I don't want to risk the balance. I mean, I was risking 2 days of playthrough there for that strategy, but I mean, it's the same idea. That's 2 days of losses right there, just like that. So we have 33 more days to go through to catch back up. That's why I don't want to risk the bankroll. So like I said, this is what I'm gonna do. Try to do this as much as I can. Risk $1 for day 207 and day 208. $1 each day. We're gonna go for like super high multipliers. So we're not really gonna be paying attention to the profit goal and stop loss. Quite simply, literally just looking at going for some crazy multipliers on like a 10-cent bet just for the fun of it and just to move the days and the sheet forward. So we're gonna risk 10 cents on the wheel. I'm gonna do 10 bets. We're gonna go for this 50x. If I hit this, it's like $5. So So we're gonna do 10 bets. Just gonna rip them pretty quick. Again, this is purely just like speed up the bankroll. It'd be cool if we get a crazy multiplier, but I'm kind of not expecting it. That was so close. Got 3 more bets. That hits. Look at that. I'll do 2 more just for the sake of running the whole dollar. Okay, we'll call it there. We got, that's what I'm going for. Just so we'll just have some fun. Go for some high multipliers and 10 cents. Got a nice little profit there. All right, I'm gonna log the $3.95 of profit into the sheet, and then we'll move on to the next day. Okay, it was a very small win, but it was also a really small bet. So, you know, 50x payout's pretty crazy. Take it. So we got $3.95 for day 207. Now we're moving on to day 208, which are balanced in at $1,413. Again, I'm gonna risk $1, try to do another multiplier. But just looking at our website balance over here, we were at 301, and then we just got the $100 loss. So we were down to 201. Now we're at 205 after that 50x. But yeah, man, that website balance was getting juicy, man. It was getting so big with that 300 bucks. Ah, man, I'm just gonna think about that all night. Okay, let's go back on the website and let's go for another high multiplier. Again, I'm gonna be risking $1, so let's just vault the rest of it here. 495. We'll throw that in the vault, protect it, and let's go to a different game. Let's try. Let's see here. What's a game we could go for a high multiplier on? Maybe Keno. Go for like just 3 random blocks here, and we'll go for a 10-cent bet. And let's just go for high risk. So we go for high risk. We hit all 3 of these. It's an 81x, so it'd be $8 if we hit on this 10-cent bet. And we're just gonna do 10 bets. Again, I'm only risking this. Like if I lose $1, that's fine. If I hit this, it's $8, so that's pretty sick. It's the way I'm looking at it. I'm not even worried about getting the 1% profit goal. You know, just move the bankroll along. We got 4 more bets. Oh, that'd be crazy if that hit. Oh man, that's so close. Got 2 more bets. And last one. Okay, we'll take the dollar loss. We'll move on, and I'll log that in the sheet. All right, so on day 208, we lost $1. Cool with doing that. Progressed on the bankroll. That's the whole idea, right? On the video total, we were down $37, which isn't as bad as it looks because we lost $100, but we had a lot of bonuses and everything else that helped like carry that. So we only went down $37 in the entire video. But if we didn't lose that $100, we would have been up like $70 on the video. That's what I'm talking about. This is a perfect example of why I'm very hesitant to play through these days going forward to catch up. It just statistically, it doesn't make sense. I mean, it sucks, but I'm really trying to show you guys. I'm not trying to show you guys. I didn't try to lose that, but like this is a great example of like why I don't want to play through all these days at the way I usually play. But like I said, we went down $37 on the video today. Through gambling, we lost $81 from the website. Again, not as bad. Got, you know, the first day was a win. It's cool. We'll take it. Leave me your thoughts and suggestions below. What you guys think on how I'm gonna progress this challenge. Like the video, subscribe if you haven't already. Join the Discord. Links in the description. Don't gamble. This is for entertainment purposes. I'm just doing this for fun, trying to get $1 million. This isn't like a mathematical proven approach to making $1 million, so I don't suggest you try this. That's gonna be it for this one though. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next episode. All right, peace.